How's your mini bye?
It was good.
Good.
How's T doing?
He's doing good. He's still in protocol. So him and Tahj will keep working through that earlier in the week. So we'll see where it ends up.
Trey in the mix this week?
He's doubtful this week.
You said doubtful?
Yeah.
Shamar.
He's on IR.
Shamar.
Yeah.
Oh, he's on IR.
Yeah.
How's he been?
With that through, I was like, am I the math wrong here?
I think he's got. This will be his final game. I think he's part of his. How's he been progressing through the rehab?
We'll see where it ends up next week.
I think this will be Trey's 4th game. Was there any consideration to put him on IR?
No, we'll just keep taking it week to week.
Is he still doing all the normal meetings, everything behind the scenes? Is that
Mostly rehab stuff with the trainers.
Do you anticipate getting him back at all this season?
Yeah, we'll just keep taking it week to week.
What was the self scout like over the bye? Over the weekend? I guess. What did you guys want to accomplish as y'all get ready for the next game?
Just get ahead for Buffalo, really. I mean, got a chance to review our game, just make sure we got them obviously in 2 weeks. So you want to make sure you put that to bed the right way because it's a quick turnaround for them. And then just, steal an extra time for Buffalo, which I thought we did. It was good. You got a chance to watch some football yesterday while you were working, and it was a good weekend.
How did Joe come through the weekend? Burrow?
Seemingly fine. I'm sure there's some soreness there that, I'm sure you guys can ask him, but to my eye, fine.
Nothing that would concern you going into Monday.
At the start of the season, Dalton Reisner was playing to the point where you ended up going with Jalen Rivers, but it felt like since Dalton's come back, he's played even better than he has earlier in the year. What have you seen from him the last couple of weeks?
Well, first, when we got him, he hadn't done anything, for 6 months, so I think that was a little bit to be expected, but I've liked how he's played, the energy he's played with. I think we got a good mix of guys in there, even guys that are, have been injured and have been backups, and so I feel really good about our starters, our depth, and just where we're at this point in the season out of line.
What have you seen from Fairchild 12 games through?
Yeah, just continues to progress and get better and sees new looks and does a good job taking the coaching from Scott and Mike and Ted and Orlando and those around him and just continues to progress. And so that's been really pleasant to see.
There's an old adage when you get around this time of the year where people say rookies aren't rookies anymore. When in your mind is a guy no longer a rookie?
Yeah, I think, at the midpoint of the year, you really want them to progress through that. There's still going to be things that they're learning. It's a fun thing to say. But you can't replicate experience, and so they got to continue to get that experience, and especially for a lot of guys, maybe that didn't start right away once the season went, and their playing time has increased as it's gone. So I think everybody's a little bit differently. Depends on the position you're playing, depends on the experience you're gaining. But I really like how all of our rookies are progressing. I think that they're all doing a nice job of learning and not making repeat mistakes and having ownership of their position and adding value to our team.
Specifically, Zach, with Barrett Carter, what have you liked about the way he's embraced that role and everything that comes with it?
Yeah, his command with the position. It's a vocal position. To have the green dot and be able to communicate like he has and just continue to progress. I can't think of how many games he started now. 6 games. And so just continuing to learn, and that's what he's doing.
Coach, just going back to Joe's touchdown pass, and
Yeah.
just kind of thoughts on that, and also just this kind of this mystical chemistry those two guys seem to have.
Yeah.
Since the minute they get, that they have each other.
Yeah, I think it was, that's a play we've had in for a while now, and Joe really did a good job buying some time outside the pocket because it's a longer developing play. It can unfold 2 ways. You can either win right out of the break because they've had poor eyes in the backfield. Hamilton did not have poor eyes. He did a good job staying in phase, and Joe really put it the only spot that Tanner could have caught that ball, and Tanner could have only caught that ball one-handed based on where Hamilton was at, and it was really good coverage and just outstanding throw, outstanding catch, huge for our momentum at that point. So it was a really big play in that game.
The route was, really good route, right, against one of the better safeties in the game.
Oh, there's no question. Yeah, it's he's an outstanding player. I wouldn't even call him a safety, really. He plays linebacker and D end and covers people and whatever you want to call it. That's a true Swiss Army knife to me. It was a great play versus a great player and something we really needed at that point.
Some of the strides you guys have made defensively in recent weeks, how much of it do you think kind of just stems directly back to just seeing more pressure from some of your young defensive linemen at this point? Is Is that kind of the biggest difference that you think you've seen?
I think it helps. Everybody's just starting to really settle into their position as they get more playing time and more confidence in the scheme and playing next to guys. And you just see all 11 guys all at once really just step into it and have great ownership in what we're asking them to do, and confidence to go in there and make plays, confidence to go win some one-on-ones up front and apply pressure. And once you start doing that a couple times, all right, I'm going to continue to do this. And then the takeaways start coming too. So again, it's fun to watch those guys have fun, play with confidence. That's exciting for me to see.
What does a guy like Miles chasing down Derrick Henry 40 yards down the field tell you about where he's at?
His passion for the game. I mean, he's made it the right stuff, and he's continued to work every day. He's been in here all season, and I'm really excited for Miles to see all that hard work start to pay off and the consistency come. And it's been really good. He's an easy guy to pull for, and so it's exciting to see him make some plays like that. Effort plays too are huge. That's, even though it's way down the field, our team sees that in the film. They see all that stuff of guys really putting it all out there, and he did that. Jordan Battle had the one on the goal line, so those are critical plays for our guys to make.
That stuff you guys feature. I mean, will you get into a meeting? Do you get into meetings and feature that stuff?
It depends on the week. Yeah, it depends on the week. Depends on the tone of the meeting. Plenty of times we highlight stuff like that.
With how chaotic the AFC North is this year, how do you make sure the guys are just doing it on a week-to-week basis, not looking outside, all that?
I've never really felt like I've had to worry about that. We have our messaging each week that we follow, and I've never felt the need to make sure that we're just focused on the week. I think those guys have done a really good job of doing that. And, that's the most critical point. It's just we got to play Buffalo, need to win the game, and worry about the rest after that.
Given y'all's result on Thursday and then kind of how things have played out in the North, especially over the weekend, does it still feel like everything's in front of you as you go into this one?
Yeah, it's exciting to know there's still opportunity there, but again, you just have to take it week to week. Us being Baltimore has nothing to do with how we're going to play against Buffalo. So our guys understand that. Stole a day here with the bonus day, and got to have a great week, and it's going to be a tough environment to go on the road there. It's always a tough place to play. It's going to be loud, it's going to be cold, probably going to be windy, and so our guys have got to be ready to embrace all that.
How much do you subscribe to the theory that, especially come December, you need to be able to at some point be able to run the ball with authority in inclement weather?
We've thrown the ball a lot in December too. It's been successful for us, so we're just going to keep playing our style. And sometimes we play plenty of games where we've leaned on the run, plenty of games where we've leaned in the pass game. So again, it's what's your style of play, what's your identity as a team, how's the game going. There's a lot of things that factor into how the game's going to play out, but you're not going to pin me down and say we're going to run the ball 60 times in a game just because it's December.
So in other words, if there's a blizzard outside, you're not just going to say, we're going to run the ball. You have to do other things.
Well, yeah, that's a unique circumstance. We're going to do whatever it takes to win the game, and I feel like we've always done that. And there's been games certainly I can think of in December where we've gone in there and had to do a great job establishing the run, and defense has played great, so you can stick with it throughout the game. And we'll see what type of game this turns out to be.
Playoff game, 2017 game. When you guys ran
Yeah.
the ball with authority, I guess is what I'm kind of thinking of.
Yeah, that game, it allowed us to, just the way that the game played out, we were allowed to stick with that kind of stuff, and our defense had played really well that day. And, so again, we'll do whatever it takes to win.
What did you?
Ask Joe this, so it might be a better question for him, but just take a shot here. With the weather, with you talking about the weather being kind of up in the air right now.
Yeah.
And with that plate in his shoe, is there any conversations about maybe doing something different? Like, does that create any issues?
Maybe.
What did you learn that day about snow games? You don't get them too often.
You'd have to ask Joe, I think, traction on the ball. I haven't thrown much in snow games. Rain is often the biggest issue. I'd say wind is a big issue. Snow would come in third behind that kind of stuff. So I think he could probably answer that question better, having done it a lot more recently than anybody else. But again, I thought that day, I thought he threw the ball pretty well. And it's never easy circumstances. The wind can always factor into that a little bit, depending on how much that is.
When you went back and look at how he played on Thursday and kind of review the tape, what was the biggest thing that jumped out at you?
Well, just how quickly he got into a rhythm. I think he'd sit here and say, I missed this or missed that. I could feel the rhythm he got into and the confidence that he had when he was out there. So that's what we could feel as a team, that he was really back to midseason form for himself. Even though again, I don't know how he's gonna answer that, but for us, certainly watching him, he felt that and I think guys had a lot of confidence watching him out there.
When you have your franchise quarterback that it's clearly a team is invested in, committed to, and he's back in the locker room and around the guys, does that raise everybody and just subconsciously knowing that that's the guy who's kind of everything's built around and he's in the building and all of that? What does that do for everybody who's in the?
I mean, he's one of the greatest players in the world, and so I think anytime you get a player like that back on the field, absolutely, it whether it's subconsciously or consciously, I mean, it's you're excited to watch that and you're excited to rally behind that and see where he can take you.
It looked like Flacco was very interactive on the sideline against Baltimore. Did Cragthorpe or anyone note just how much input he was giving after series, or is that just what you expect with who Joe Flacco is?
Yeah, they've to my eye have a really good relationship. So whatever they're talking about is all good. Those guys see it the same way as coaches do. I'm not always back there. I've kind of picked my spots to go back there between series, so I don't see it all or recap it all. But it is good to have as many. I mean, we always travel our practice squad quarterback over the years. We want as many quarterbacks over there as possible, and somebody may see something that somebody else doesn't see. So I always think that's good dialogue to have as many guys over there as possible, especially at the high level thinkers that we've got in that room.